We are talking about monk mode and how that is storming the entrepreneurial space and what challenges you might be having with it. Challenges that you might not even know that might affect you down in the future. So that is the topic of conversation for today. Today it is all about monk mode. So what is this thing? What is a monk mode? Sounds kind of like monkey mode almost, like what is monk mode? Okay, monk mode, it's a lifestyle. It's a get things done lifestyle is how I like to look at it. What does that entail? It entails discipline, productivity, and self improvement. This is when you have chosen a goal and you know that you have an extreme amount of work to do, whether that's on yourself or to get ready for or to learn in order to do the thing that it is that you want to do. It is you clear all the distractions out of your life, you clear out all the filth out of your life, and you go and you just rock this thing. You go and you achieve what it is that you want to do. Now, most of these monk modes, it is there's a few, like there's two or three people that if you Google it, it's like they pop up that they invented this thing. Basically, it is you get things done that you know you have something to do and you go do it. The first one being discipline, that you can write down lists about what it is that you want to do every day, or long-term goals or monthly goals. It's putting the goals down and then actually getting productive and actually using your time wisely. Now, there's also a self-improvement section of this too that goes hand in hand with the discipline and the productivity, because you have to take care of your body, you have to take care of your mind and feed them the right things in order to get massive amount of productivity. Because if you're going to be cutting out all these things out of your life that I'm about to go over, like, you had better be getting something done. Otherwise, you're just going to feel like you're wasting your time and, spinning in spin cycle, just do same thing in and out and not going anywhere. Okay. Some of the big things when you're in this mode is the ones that I agree with, because there's one thing I don't agree with everything on here. Monk mode it's very extreme and it's an extreme lifestyle, but you want extreme results, right? You're harnessing your energy, you're getting rid of distractions so that there's one thing only, and you get it done. So what are you cutting out what are you cutting out and what are you putting in when it comes to this monk mode? The first thing is that all the drugs, all the partying, all the going out and hanging out with friends and, putting things in your body that is going to slow you down, they got to go. So that's one of the first ones. The second thing is like distractions. So like, if you're reading books or whatever it is that takes your time away from the target, that takes away from the goal, gone. Now, that being said, some things that do stay are going to be eating healthy, drinking lots of water, going to the gym, and things that fuel your body and your mind. So those things are going to be staying in when you're doing this monk mode, which is important because you want to fuel yourself for where you're going. Some other things that go is that you are not going to be on playing video games. They're out. Video games are gone. Reading books that are not for improvement, or not dedicated towards the goal that you're going for, like pleasure reading, out. It's got to go. Your friends, or let's start here. Your acquaintances, the people that you see every now and then that you kind of hang out with, but can take it or leave it, gone. You're not going to be seeing them anymore. And here's where I have a little bit of an issue when it comes to this monk mode. One of the other big things is that these creators that talk about it all day long, if you're listening to this, I'm sure you've heard of them. The one problem I have with monk mode, and it's a really good mode, it's a good lifestyle, it's a massive amount of energy to get where you're going and so you straight see results. I am in that kind of myself right now. I'm putting in, 50, 60, maybe even 70-hour weeks right now between everything that I'm doing to get where I'm going. That all to be said, one of the big things that these influencers are telling you to get rid of: no friends, no family. You completely by yourself all in, working, 40 hours, however many hours you can. Basically, you live, breathe, and drink your target, and that's all you do. And why do I have an issue with that? Okay, well, let's work this problem backwards. If you are an entrepreneur, and let's just say especially you're a younger entrepreneur, like let's say you're in your 20s or 30s, because that's who I'm talking to on this channel. So if you're in your 20s and 30s, you're an entrepreneur, and you go into this monk mode, especially if you're a guy, or a girl that don't feel like you fit in, that you just feel like you're outside of the pack. Here's the thing, and I'm challenging you to think about this for yourself. Do you think that your social skills, that your ability to communicate, persuade, understand, and converse with another human being, do you think it's going to get better or worse if you just dive into the own little world that is your head as you try to solve this problem? No, right? No, you're not going to get better at these skills. Now, can you get better at these skills down the line? Yes. Now, hold on. There's another side to this. Do you think that if all you do is eat, sleep, and breathe whatever target, let's just say creating your own business for this example, if that is all you do and you do not give yourself any downtime of any whatsoever, no downtime, all in all the time doing this monk mode, do you think you're going to have the highest productivity that you can? Even the multi hundreds of millionaires take time that when they hit a breaking point, when they feel that their productivity is going down, they step back, they recharge. However they recharge, whether it be watching movies, going out, seeing friends, whatever it is that you do. So here is my solution to this issue that I have with monk mode. I totally agree. You need to be all in. You need to focus your energy. You need to get rid of the distractions in your life. And you most definitely need to increase your productivity. And to do that, you have to improve your self-improvement, your health, your mental acuity, whatever it is that you don't have to get this thing done. Totally agree. Here's the thing, though. I do believe in balance. The light and the dark, the yin and the yang, the rule of moderation. The more I live my life, the more I believe in the rule of moderation. So by all means, monk mode is an extreme lifestyle, and it is a lifestyle. However, there's two ways that I think you can go about monk mode to get the same results, to utilize it so it doesn't utilize you and leave you in a deficit in 2 or 3 areas of your life. The first being your friends and family being like, where the hell have you been? What's going on? And also, your health and your productivity, because we're social creatures. We need that social interaction. And also, you're going to need to get used to this. If you're an entrepreneur, especially, and you're in this monk mode, do you think it's going to get any easier when, you've got 3 or 4 companies going and someone's calling you at all hours every day about your companies? Okay, so why is it that you think that it's going to get easier? Why do you think it'd be easier down the road? It's not going to get easier. It's going to get harder to balance things. So why would you wait to start balance things later down the line when you can start developing habits and standards and values and understanding when and where to put your time now while it's easier, so that when you get there, when you get to the 50 million, to the 100 million, to the $1 billion company, you always already have thought this out. You've already experimented. You've already figured out what works for you. And you're also mentally sane, have friends, have a significant other, and can live life to the absolute fullest. That makes sense to me. And now I think there's a couple ways that you could do this. The first way is you could put a time limit on your monk mode. So maybe monk mode for you is, whatever floats your boat. Maybe it's a week. Maybe it's a month. Maybe it's 6 months. I would not go over a year for sure. Okay? Like 6 months, I'm thinking is kind of it for pretty much anybody. Because if you cut out people out of your life, you cut out connection, which feeds your soul, which also feeds your mental status, because the people around us also help keep us sane on what behaviors they will and not accept based off Jordan Peterson. That's where I'm pulling that information from. You need a balance. So you've got to figure out what works for you when it comes to balance. I'm just saying you need to have one. Don't be so all in on this that you, while you're elevating yourself and you're elevating your business and you're elevating your health, don't drop the thing that's going to get you there, because business is all about people, understanding people, communicating with people, prioritizing people, knowing where and when to give your energy. It's not going to get any easier. It's going to get harder. So do it now. Do it now while you're doing this monk mode. Do it now and give yourself the gift of this. One of the things you could do to pull everything together is that besides just the time limit, okay, I'm going to be in monk mode for this long, and then I'm going to give myself like a 2-week break, and then I'm going to do another month. Or I'm going to do 2 months at a time, like 2 months on, 2 months off, 2 months on, 2 months off. Find what works for you and find what you can be honestly consistent at. The other thing you could do is you could do a goal-oriented strategy on monk mode, where you say, okay, I need to do X, Y, and Z. Only when I do X, Y, and Z can I go do whatever it is that you want to do. So maybe it's going into a family dinner, maybe it's seeing your girlfriend, maybe it is hanging out or going to like a game, whatever it is that floats your boat. Why would I say that that's important? Well, that's a really easy way to reinforce your goals, right? You're going to get the dopamine, you're going to get the rush and the pleasure of spending time with something that you like to do, reinforcing that if I do X, that if you do what I said I'm going to do, you're reinforcing your own behavior that way. And also you get to be a human being with social skills, which is not a bad thing to have. So when it comes to this monk mode, I challenge you that you need to start thinking for yourself. That while you're watching all these videos and you're watching all these gurus about how they got to where they're going, and yes, I'm hoping I'm one of them if you're listening to this, that you figure out what is best for you, that you need to learn how to learn. It's not just finding the information, it's finding the information, taking that information, simplifying it down, and simplifying it in a way that works for you. Everybody's journey is special and different. No two journeys are ever the same. Even though I'm trying to follow in Iman's footsteps when it comes to the agency accelerator, I know that there's going to be different challenges than what he faced, because he already went through it, 6 years ago or whatever it is that he started. His journey is not my journey. It's different. My journey is going to be different than yours. So find what works for you. And just because somebody says it works for them, poke some holes in it. If I were to do what they're saying if I did what I was told to do or what I've just listened to, what would that look like for me? What are the positives? What are the negatives? You gotta look at both, and you gotta even them out to something that will work for you. Another thing you can do, and this is something that I've been working on as well, is that when it comes to this monk mode and you need to give yourself a break, something that's been working for me personally, I always try to share something honestly and personal to give you some sort of reference, especially on my entrepreneur journey. I'm in this monk mode myself right now. I probably am, between my work, the YouTube, and the agency, I'm probably putting in like 50, 60, maybe even 70-hour weeks every now and then. So what I do is on Friday night when everyone's out, I either meet up with friends or I go to a movie or I do something that I want to do. Another thing that I can do if I'm like, I'm not just quite feeling it, I just want to get out for a little bit, but I don't want to spend a ton of time, is that I would go to my local area here in the South of the United States. Luckily, I'm in a very, very popular city here in the South where everyone seems to be moving here, and there's a lot of money and there's a lot of businesses around. So one of the things I will do, and I'm going to talk about this in the next episode, is that I will do a bar challenge. And what is that, you might be asking? Well, I've been talking, no, don't lose your mind. Don't think I'm going to be talking about going out and drinking. Didn't I just say about monk mode and being productive? Okay, so bar challenge, it's the entrepreneur or the business bar challenge, is to go to a local business, go to a local restaurant, sit up at the bar, and have a conversation with a stranger. Because of the city that I'm in, I could have probably sold my agency like 4 times over. I'm not joking. Like, I even had someone say, like, are you trying to sell me? And I'm like, no, I'm just trying to have a conversation with you and I'm passionate about this thing. Apparently, it came off as selling. Go to a local bar and just have a conversation with a stranger. Okay. Just go have a conversation with your stranger. That is the beauty of when you are single, you're approachable, especially if you give out the right energy and you just never know what's going to happen. An example of this is literally 2 nights ago on Friday night, went out to a bar and I had a lovely conversation for like an hour with another entrepreneur and her husband and about what she was taking and what it takes to be successful. And I picked up so many beautiful, important, valuable information from these people. I'm going to share them in another episode real soon, okay? It's coming. But I challenge you to do this. Why? Because it means you're going to be uncomfortable, especially if you're a guy and you're very logical and you're a little bit different than everyone else, you're going to have trouble communicating with people. Like, personal skills might not be your forte. Just a wild guess. Could be wrong. Please tell me I'm wrong. But if I'm not, you need to work on those skills. Being an entrepreneur is being able to balance multiple things at the same time. And like the 5 pillars I talked about earlier, you get one thing, you do it well, but you're constantly working on all the aspects of having a business. And communication and being emotionally intelligent is one way you do that. And how can you get practice if you're by yourself and you're in this monk mode and like you just don't want to go to a party, you don't want to break the streak that you're on? Do this business bar challenge. Okay, go to a local bar, sit down, order a meal, have a drink, whatever suits your fancy, and just try and have a conversation with a stranger. If you're in one of the bigger cities, especially like I am, especially a business city, you never know who's coming around the corner. So I'm going to leave you with that. And please go ahead and like and subscribe so I can get this message out to more entrepreneurs and more people just like you, so we can share the love and make a difference and maybe make other people think about how they're going about building that business so that they can get there even faster, even quicker. So time to level up, and I'll see you in the next video.